See some people's and I'm like, why did you choose decorative? Like, why did you choose piping? You obviously have no piping skill at all. Why would you choose piping? I was like, seriously, some of these. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So in my last video, I talked about like my books, my school books. So I thought I would just talk about my schooling experience when I did my certificate 3 in patisserie. So if you want to hear more, stay tuned. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel because it really helped me out, you guys. Thank you. So I went to Holmes Glen, TAFE, and I went there for a year doing my certificate 3 in patisserie. I couldn't have a certificate 4, but then I would have to do a heap more work. So I was like, no. And certificate 4 is more like if you want to like run your own patisserie, not just work in one sort of thing. And I don't really want to run one anyway. That just seems too much work. So it was like, day 1 or whatever. And so like the intro thing. And like, no joke, I saw this chick and I'm like, she looks really cool. I hope I'm in her class. Turns out we're in the same class. We become like best friends, me and Jade. So we're basically partners during like everything we have. But then like some days, like she's not in the classes I'm in the class she's in, because she did a set 4. I only did a set 3 because I was like, I don't need the set 4. So yeah, it was all good. We used to have to catch the bus together, but then she got her license and then she started driving. And then we lived like near each other. Like I lived like further away from her, but like she lived like on the way to TAFE. So she started picking me up, which was amazing. This was like halfway through the year. It was like the best halfway through the year of my life. I was like, thank God, Jade's gonna drive me. Whoop, whoop. So that was honestly amazing. I remember one time we were coming home with like the scariest fucking thing in the world. We had to like turn. She dropped me off from like a car park, so she had to turn like across the traffic, right to go into the car park, and there was a set of lights like just like 2 car lengths like before the turn off, so like sort of thing. So then all the cars were like backed up. And there was a big truck like out of the keep clear zone. So we're like going to turn into it. The truck just sounds his horn. Jade fucking slams in the anchors. I'm like, what the fuck? And the car goes right past like the lane in front of us. So we nearly got fucking hit. So thanks to the truck driver. It was fucking scary though. But that's beside the point. So schooling was really good. Like Andrew, I've never done anything like it before, so I don't really know what else it was going to be like. But one of the teachers I used to have was like, well, I used to work at William Angliss, and they were shit. This is why Holmes Glen better. This is why Holmes Glen's better. And just talked about like all these things Holmes Glen was better about. But then we didn't get any like workbooks ourselves. Like we had to get like PDFs and then print them out ourselves because they were like, it's too expensive to like give the students books, like give them like the actual books. So that was a bit annoying. So then Jade gave me one of hers, which was amazing. And so it's like other things I would cut corners with as well. Like sometimes we wouldn't get to keep the food. We had to box it up and they had to sell it. And we're all just like, oh, sorry, my phone. Something stupid. I'm going to put it on silent. Wrong button. Where is it there? And we're all just like, what the fuck? Like, we made this food. We've paid for the ingredients like when we pay for our schooling. Why don't we get to keep it? So even the teachers were like, that's strange. We've never done this before. Why are we doing it this year? So like the year we were there, everything had changed and there was all just stupid shit and all these like budget cuts, I swear, and all this stuff. Just beep, beep, snip. Everything was fucking cut. It was shit. So that side it was shit. But the teachers we had were really good. The class lengths were alright, it's best as you can really get. I think we had 3 hours in the kitchen every morning. So, but the one thing I found really stupid about it is the first half of the year, we were on like the same schedule and the second half we changed. But the first half of the year we had like practical first, and then we had theory. And I thought, isn't that just like stupid having the practical before the theory? Like, then how are you supposed to learn about, like, what's the point of learning the theory if you've just done it practically, sort of thing? Like, normally you learn the theory so then you can do the practical better. But no, we did it like asked way about for like the first half of the year. It was very strange. We also did, I think, at least like 3 months of like basic cooking skills, and everybody was pissed off about that because we're all like, why do we need to know how to cook a chicken? Why do we need to know how to cook fish? Why do we know how to make batter? Why do we know how to fucking lard and bard and just all this random shit? And so that was like, most people, like some people got really pissed off. I remember there was Holly. She was actually like a chef. That was actually her job. She was a chef, and she was like, I already know all this stuff. Like, I work in a kitchen, can't I get signed off for this so I don't have to do it? Because I actually work in a kitchen. And the teacher's like, nah, sorry, it doesn't work like that. And she's like, well, what the hell? Like, why are we spending so much time dedicated to cooking, like, normal cooking instead of the patisserie side? So everybody was pissed off about that. Also, another thing that was, like, sort of annoying, but, like, I don't want to be, like, mean about it, but TAFEs are like notorious for international students, and this Holmes Glen in Glen Waverley, you know who you are, they had so many students from overseas coming to Australia just to do their schooling. And then this year they had to have a huge crackdown because apparently people would come over, I'm gonna learn. They would go to like one class, never come back and work while they're living in Australia. So then the school would have to like documentate when they're there, when they're not there. Like people were like the start of the year the room was full. Like every week, I swear, one person was going, like for the first like 3 months or whatever. Like each week, one person was gone, another person's gone, because they just weren't attending, so they had to get like reported and sent back to their country. And another thing is, sometimes they would come over with not much English experience, and then you would have to dedicate so much time to explain what we're going to be doing just to them. And that was hard because everybody else knew what was going on, but they didn't. And so then we just had to like dedicate more time to them instead of doing the actual thing we were supposed to be doing. So that was a bit annoying, but I don't want to be mean about it because most of them are actually really nice. Like, there was like Helen and Sandy, and I'm trying to think of other people I've forgotten. Sorry if I've forgotten if you even watch these videos, but you probably don't. But I'm pretty sure they've all got good careers now anyway. They're doing something. So it was that, and then yeah. And then we made a lot of fun stuff. Jade and I would crack each up like all the time. It was very fun. I legit have like a bajillion photos of Jade like cooking shit. Cause I'm like, Jade, I'm gonna get a photo of you doing this. I'm gonna get a photo of you doing that. But she never took any photos of me. But whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't want a photo. It's a really funny one where they're doing like a boob squat, and I'm like, yeah. And it was just a very funny photo. Very funny. And there was Tegan. She was another really good friend of ours. And because we were all like really good friends at the start. And so that was really good. So we had like a little throuple friendship group, was good. But then we started branching into other people. But it was very strange because there was, so like the kitchen was sort of divided into two. So like, it was just like a long hall, like long corridor sort of thing. And the teacher's bench was up here. And then like the back room was here. And then so you had like benches in the middle with an aisle in the middle. So like the teacher could walk down the aisle in the middle. And that's where you put like your flour and stuff like that. Like big tubs of flour. And then so then there was like the sinks on that side. And then on the outside of like the corridor thing, it was like the stoves on either side. So it was like against the walls with the stoves, and then in was like things. And then so then you had like all the international students on one side, and then you had all the other people from around the area on the other side. And it was very strange. And like when people picked like groups to work with, you know, all the international people would go with each other, and all the people that were like living here would go with others. And it was very like interesting to see how people sort of interacted with each other. I tried being as nice as I could, but sometimes I'm just like, I cannot understand what you were saying. Like, and sometimes you get like frustrated because you're like, it is so easy, the task you are supposed to be doing. Please, can you hurry up? Like, seriously. Like, sometimes they would have to, like, chop things and they just wouldn't know how to chop it. And it's just like, just like this. Like, it's not even a hard chop. So, that's sort of like a difficult thing, was like that whole... But people learn different ways, so I can't really... I know I'm fucking stupid, so I bet you people thought about me in high school as well, but... Cooking was just something I was very passionate about. I still am. So we made lots of things, yeah. We learned how to, like, I think it's truss or whatever, like, type chicken the right way, and we roasted chicken, and that was actually a really good roast chicken, not gonna lie, with the oh, someone just messaged me. Normally I hate stuffing in chickens, but this stuffing was delicious, and I need to look through my books to find the recipe because it was such a good recipe. And yeah, so it was very fun. But then like things like, so we had two teachers. So we had so one was more of like an all-rounder patisserie teacher, like he knew like basic, like lots of everything. But then the other teacher we had, she was an all-rounder, but she really focused in on like cakes and like more like plating up, I would say, and more like decorative things. So she wasn't as good as like bread and like those sorts of things, but the other teacher was better at that style of stuff. So when we had bread, I was like, yeah, I want Guido on the man teacher because he's like better at that. But then when it came to cakes, I was like, I really want Erica, but we didn't get Erica, and that was really fucking annoying because so we had two classes, and so when we put our cakes into the competition, you could see dead on which teacher was teaching the class, because all the people with Guido had like cakes, all the people with Erica had like fucking amazing cakes, and I was so pissed off. They all had like airbrushed cakes, they had like cakes with like I think it's like his paste, and you put it in like a silicone mold, and then it like makes like lace out of like edible shit. They all had that. All their cakes looked fucking amazing, and then you look at like our sort of like cakes, and mine looked so shit. Don't want to be mean to other people, but ours weren't as like intricate, to be like, in my opinion, and I could clearly see which teacher had taught who, because he was just like, oh yeah, just do it. But she must have gone around to everybody and be like, you can airbrush that if you want to, and make all these details. Oh, we've got these like design things in the back if you want to make these. And she probably bought a heap of stuff from her own collection as well, because all the stuff their cakes looked so much better than ours. And I was like, because I was like, yeah, my cakes look so good, I put so much effort into it, and I saw everybody else's cakes, and I was like, fuck. It's definitely not as good. So that was that. But I was really fun, and I was definitely like a little shit in class, probably. Like, I would be laughing around, and I wouldn't even be listening. I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Because I did. I was a professional. I was like, I would do it. I remember we're in class and no one wanted to use like the slicer, like the mandolin, and I'm like, just move, and I just like moved. I'll do it. Like, it's like a mandolin. Like, as long as you use the handle, your finger's not gonna get cut off because there's plastic in between your fingers and the blade. Like, honestly, it's not that bad. Because I had to make apple. No, they were pear. I made pear chips. It was like chip pears, and like I had to like glaze them and then put them in the oven and let them dry out as much as I could. So that was fun. But yeah, you could really see where people's like strong suits were, like when it was like near the end of the year and we had to make Christmas stuff. We had to make gingerbread houses. And so people chose what they wanted to do. I think I chose assembling. I think I assembled all of the chimneys. But then, like, so that was easy as fuck. Like, you just go blip, like squirt, stick, squirt, stick, and then you're done, chimney, done. And then so other people would choose to like decorate them with like icing, and then you could just see some people's, and I'm like, why did you choose decorative? Like, why did you choose piping? You obviously have no piping skill at all. Why would you choose piping? I was like, seriously, some of these look like shit. I've got photos of them as well. I got photos of all this stuff. I was looking through my Dropbox, my Samsung Cloud. I got so many photos of the things. I'm gonna put in a fuckload of photos like all the way through this video. But yeah, like those Christmas things didn't look too good. Like But when you do certificate 3, you miss out on marzipan, sugar work, and you don't do finance, and I think you do a lesser form of stock rotation. Because I just like a real simple one of like, oh, and I forgot what it's called, but it's like when like it's like a not like economy, but like the other one, it's with A, like for like making sure that you don't like waste too much or whatever it is. But yeah, that one. So I missed out on some of those things, but then they were telling me about like, finance, and they were saying like you'd had to remember these like specific formulas for your finance off the top of your head, and then you had to do like a full on, like, you weren't allowed a calculator or anything, and I was like, fuck that, like luckily I'm not doing that. Math is not a strong suit at all, and then I would have failed my certificate 4 if I did that. So I'm glad I didn't, because I did not need that extra workload on my hands. Like, no, I just wanted to be in the kitchen and bake, and that's all, which was good. So that was really good, you know. What other things did we do? Just trying to think. And yes, I'm in a singlet again, because I want to. This tea is getting gross, though. Like, the more I let the tea bag and the more disgusting it gets. I'm just gonna scull it right now. Yuck. What are things? I'm just trying to think. Sorry, everyone. I've got lots of photos. Oh yes. And when you do it, you have to get, when you do your certificate 3 or 4, either one, you have to get a certain amount of hours working in a kitchen, sort of thing. So the school actually had their own like working kitchen, because they had their own like because they did like patisserie, commercial cookery, Asian cookery, and they also did like front of house. So they had their own restaurant. So then the front of house would work there, and then people that had to do the back of the house like could do that as well. So we had to do that. The first time I really wanted to work with Jade. Jade really wanted to work with me as well, but she didn't really want to do it. Neither did I. So the first day I went there, I went by myself, and I got put on commercial cookery, and I'm like, why? I am a patisserie student. Why am I not doing desserts? Okay, and I had to do octopus, and I legit had no clue what the hell I was doing. I was so lost, and one thing I will never be able to do is yell out, yes, chef. That is just, it just seems disgusting to me to have to be like, yes, chef. I don't know, I couldn't do it. I'm like, yes, chef. I'm like, yes, chef. Like, I don't know, I can't do it, no. Yeah, so the first I had to do octopus, and it was like, octopus that had been like convied, which is where it gets like put in like a bag and then put in like water, and it gets cooked for like hours, like a slow temperature, becomes really tender or whatever. So I think it was that, or it was steamed. I'm not sure which one it was. One or the other. Octopus. So I had to like cut it out of the bags, and then I had to grill it, and then I had to heat up like 4 different sauce, 4 different purees, put that on there. Then there was like there was like a carrot puree, like a other purees I've forgotten. Then there was like flowers I had to put on the plate. Then there was like little chips made out of like carrot puree, like dehydrated carrot puree. And there was like little radish things. No, it wasn't radish. Maybe it was like a not an onion, but the other thing. I've forgotten what it's called, but like the thing that's not an onion, but it's like an onion. It's like a small baby one. I forgot what that was. And they were like pickled. They had to be like heating up. And then so I had to plate it up, and he's like, yeah, they look really good. I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you. Thank you. And then, oh, just hit the camera. And so I was legit on commercial, like, actually, that wasn't even the first, yes, no. That wasn't the first time I was in the kitchen. That was the first time I did a service, a night service. But we actually did a patisserie service before then. And I remember the one thing that sticks in my head forever is, we had to put these strawberries inside this like mousse thing in like a glass, and then he's like, all right, who wants to do it? No one put their hand up. I'm like, I'll do it then, like whatever, like I'll do it, fine then, whatever. So I was like, so I got his tongs, because we didn't have tongs in our kit, and I put it, he shows me where to put it. I do it, he turns the cup, and I'm like, okay, like whatever. Get the next one, put it in, he turns the cup. I'm like, what? I do it, put it in, he turns the cup, and he's just like, am I gonna have to turn, what? And I'm like, oh, you actually want it in that exact fucking spot. oh. So then I'm like, oh, sorry, like, fuck. Like, I thought I could just put it on the side, but not on the side on a slight left. But no, I had to put it on the side. I had to put it on like the rim of the cup on the side left. So I'm like, okay. So then I start doing that, and bam, done. So that was actually really fun. Like, I actually thought that teacher was pretty cool. Like, that guy, he did like the services most of the time, but everybody was like, oh my god, I'm scared of you. And I'm like, why? If you just do your job right, there's nothing to be scared of. Like, fuck. And I just remember people, no one putting their hand up. I'm like, I'll do it then, like, whatever. I just didn't, because that is simple. You got tongs and you got to pick up, like, it was like a glazed strawberry, put it in the thing. That cannot go wrong. That is the most simplest thing. Putting sauces in the cup. Now that can go wrong because there was a powder that went on one side, there was a liquid that went on the other side, and when they touched, they fizzed up. So putting the sauces in was much, and the powder was much trickier because you got to make sure you put them in the right spot. So that was much harder. And if it's the first thing in the cup, you've got as much room in the cup to move your little tongs around. You've got nothing in your way. So the first thing was easy. Yeah, so I, back to my, like, there's like a fucking mosquito, I think. Great. So yeah, so I was on like normal cooking, like commercial cooking, like side of it for like, I think probably like half of my services, probably more. I think we had like 15 services, probably more. So I was there, and then I think the first time I went on there, we had to do like bomb Alaskas, but it was like cracked pepper ice cream. Very strange. I've never heard of it before. Never even thought of it before. It's like cracked pepper in an ice cream base. So we had to do that, and we had to like pipe on the meringue, and then we had like other big services which were like specialty events, and I did a specialty event, and I got an apron from like the brand, so that was pretty cool. And there was another one where, that same service, it was, I don't think there was any front of house. No, that's right, the front of house were learning about the food, so the people in the kitchen had to go out and give them the stuff. So I was like, fuck, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to have to try and remember like what people say. No, that's not happening. No. And I don't want to have to say, oh, so on the menu is this, and it's got this in it. So I'm like, that's not me. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I'll do anything else. So I got on to cutlery duty. So I had to polish the cutlery. There was more than just me. It was a couple of us. We had to polish the cutlery, put the cups and the cutlery out, and the plates and the napkins and everything like that, which is sort of fun. But in the outfit we had to wear, it was fucking atrocious. And then the front of house lady, she was scary. Like, I think if you were like good, you'd be fine. But I remember there was one girl, and she's just like, oh, I don't know how to make a certain coffee. And then she's like, what do you mean you don't know how to make this coffee? You've passed your coffee course. How do you not know how to make it? And I was like, fuck, like, shit, like, I barely paid any attention in the coffee thing, but I still passed, like, fuck. So I was like, shit, I don't want to be in front of her house at all. That's scary. She's crazy. She's crazy. Nah, she's not. She was actually really funny. Like, I remember she was like talking to the thing, and we were like looking at her down. I'm like, she's so funny. And then she like looked, and she's like, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like, and I was like, okay, don't hit me, please. Like, I'm just laughing with you guys, okay? Like, I'm an adult, right? But yeah, so that was really fun, and then we did some high teas. So the high teas sort of disappointed me because we didn't make everything from scratch. Some stuff was just taken out of the fridge and thawed, or the freezer and just thawed. So that was a bit annoying. Like the cupcakes that Jade and I did, they weren't cooked fresh. They were just frozen and thawed from like another class. Because like if you did like in your normal class, if you were to make cupcakes or whatever, you would get to take like maybe like 3 of them home, and the rest of them would get frozen away for other events. So then they didn't have to make all of them from scratch that day. So that, and then so we had like an orange thing, and they're like, oh, just decorate how you want to it. And so Jade and I were like, oh, what do you think? And I'm not sure if it was my idea, if it was her idea, but we came up with the idea of pickling orange peel and then making them into like little ribbon shaped, like the pink ribbon shape, and putting it on there. And my gosh, that was the worst idea I think we've ever come up with, because when you pickle it, it gets very sticky and sugary. Trying to twist it into that little knot and sticking it on there took fucking forever. But they looked really good, so I was happy with that. They looked good. Like every single time you maybe did like 2 of them, you had, what was that? Ew, I think there's a spider on my leg and I just squished it. Ew. So every single time you made like 2 or 3 of them, you had to like wipe your fingers off because they would get too sticky and you couldn't wrap them again. That was another problem. But yeah, and then, the worst thing, oh my god, the worst thing. It was sort of funny but scary. Because we were the new people and we were doing dessert and we had to make a cheesecake. We had to make cheesecakes, yeah. We had to put them in like square molds. So we made like the biscuit base. We made like biscuits and then we like crushed it. We like had to crush them up and then add butter and make the base. And then we had to make the cheesecake. But we didn't get put on like the cheesecake mix. No, actually no. We were sort of like we were in charge. Jade and I were like, we were pretty switched on in the kitchen. So we were like, all right, well, if you, we're like, well, we'll do this. You guys do that. You do that and you guys do that. So we were sort of delegating between our like our little dessert group what the fuck people should be doing, because people were just like, what do we do? And I'm like, read the recipe is right here. Please read it. Honestly, please read it. Not hard. So then that happened, and then so we got people to get all the stuff out of the fridge. So I got the stuff, we like the cheese and everything. We put the cheese in there. We add the sugar. We're mixing it up. Where like this campus, they had like is it ADF or something like that? It's like the military personnel that are like doing cooking in the military. They come to the school and they learn from like the military like people like how to cook or whatever. That's like we've got to stay like completely separate from them, not even like talk to them or whatever. Apparently, I don't know why it was so like fucking discreet. They're just in the military. Like let's be nice to them, like something. I don't know. Yeah, and it's the guy comes in and he's just like, did you guys take the cheese? And we're like, what sort of cheese? He's like, oh, like soft, like this cheese. We're like, I don't know, we didn't get the cheese out. That guy did. So we point him over to the guy that got it. And he's like, I don't know, I just grabbed the cheese, it was on the bench. And we're like, oh, for fuck's sake, did you tell me you've put the wrong cheese in here? We've added like a fuckload of sugar and vanilla and everything else to make bloody well cheesecake. And then we're like, oh. And I'm like, wait, okay. Think, Mitchell, think. When you read the packet, it looked right. Check the bin. So I go into the bin, I pull it out, I'm like, well, this is the cheese that we used. Is this the cheese you're looking for? He's like, no. And I'm like, thank fuck. So they misplaced the cheese somewhere. We got the right cheese, and he was making me freak out for a fucking hot minute. I was like, fuck, are you kidding me? We put the wrong cheese in this thing? And then another group of people made, so then Jade and I made like the cheesecake stuff, and we added that into the thing. And then another group of people made like a layer of jelly on top. They didn't have enough. They got told to add a certain amount of gelatin. It wasn't enough. The gel like didn't set properly. It just stayed like liquid. So when Jade and I had to cut them all up, they weren't set or anything, and it looked so shit. It was honestly horrible. There was another time, I think they were called, a thing's called like clafouti, which is like a baked, I think it's like a baked donut and then cooked. And then I fucked it up real bad. Like, the ones like the ADF, I'm pretty sure it's ADF, they made some stuff as well. Because Jade and I got told it was going to be like an ADF, like, night. You're going to go in the kitchen with them. We're like, sure, we can do that. Whatever. That's fine. We can do that. I think, no, actually, wrong night. But whatever. So they're called like these like clafouti things. I've got photos of them as well. I'm going to put them in. So they're supposed to be like golden brown. On the picture, it's golden brown. But the ones we had were like really pale and white. And we're like, that doesn't look appetizing at all. So then when Jade and I make some, so we had to make the dough stuff, put them in little disc things, put them in the prover. But what I did is I fucked it up so bad. I fucked up, and then I covered my tracks, and no one knew anything. It was so good, but it was also really scary because see, we had a break. We had a break after prep, but before the actual service, like rush, whatever you want to call it. So then, I put them into prove over the, we didn't need any, but I got told to make more for next class, whatever. Because I think they changed the menu like once a month, or maybe like 3 times a month, or no, like maybe like once every 3 months or whatever it was. So then, so I put them in the prover before I went out in the break, and I come back in after the break. I think we got maybe like 20 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. Come back in, they are overproved. They've just exploded out of the thing. They're not good. So I'm like, fucking hell, Jade, what do we do? I've just fucked these things up. And she's like, all right, we'll just go over here and we'll just like pull them out and throw it in the bin and everything. So we fucking did it and it worked perfectly. We just took them out, we plucked them out, we put them in the bin, we made another batch. It worked out perfectly. They came out nice and golden brown. And then the front of house lady's like, why does this look different? And we're like, well, these are the ones that ADF people made. These ones we made. I think they're supposed to be more golden brown. They look better at least. And she's like, I totally agree. And then so she put up the chef and she's like, why like the ADF people making these like not right? Why like they don't look appetizing at all? They look too doughy still. They don't look cooked properly. And we're like, well, we're just, you know, young people, professional chefs right here. I wish. So that was really fun though. And then, but then one thing that was so stupid is there was a picture and it was very hard to distinguish between cream and curd. And so then on the one side of the plate, there was like a mountain of stuff, of like a mountain of a substance. And then inside like the donut of the clafouti, I think that's what it's called, was like a soft layer thing. So we thought, well, curd doesn't get stiff. It must go in the center. And cream gets stiff so it can go on the side. But no, that's wrong. And we're like, but look at the picture. Like the picture clearly looks like the center is the curd and the outside is the cream or whatever. And then they're like, no, that's not it. Like it's supposed to be curd on the outside, cream in the middle. But I just think that was the wrong decision, to my opinion, because not everybody wants cream on their fucking roll thing. And like the curd just sort of like just spilled all over the plate instead of it saying like encapsulated on the inside of like the clafouti thing. So I think our idea was better, but whatever. Also, I burnt the shit out of my face. I got a huge steam burn. It was horrible. I burnt myself with steam on the steam oven because it was Christmas time. We had to make Christmas puddings. I was on the duty of Christmas puddings in the steamer. So you get told, like at the start of like the year, you've got to fill out this book of like how to use it properly, what's the safety things, what's one thing that could be improved. Not many people did that, and that actually got them in quite a bit of trouble because the teacher was like, where's your book? I haven't seen it, I haven't signed it off. And they're like, well, I gave it to you. And then they're like, well, apparently you didn't. And I'm pretty sure some of them were lying that they actually didn't do it. But I actually did it. Surprisingly, I did it. I had to do like 20 things. I had to write down each thing and like what's wrong with it, how can we be better. It was fucking a shit job, but I did it. I did it because I've done like safety reports like that before when I did my certificate 3 my certificate 2, I think, in conservation land management. Cert 3 in conservation land. I think it was Cert 3 in conservation land management. Didn't pass it, but I did it, so I knew how to fill out those things. So back to what I was saying. So I put the puddings in. They were done, so I opened the door a little bit to let the steam come out. Then I opened it fully. I didn't open it enough, or I didn't leave it open for a long enough time. I opened it fully, and then and I get steam all in my face. I get a bad steam burn all up here. It was fucking horrible. I could not believe how much it hurt. I was like, this is the most painful thing I've ever had to go through, was the steam burn. So that was a struggle. And I was like, fucking hell, Jade, like, does my face look red? She's like, yeah. So I got like a wet bit of paper towel, just dabbing my face like during the whole night, because I was like, it fucking really hurts. I've just fucked my face up. But yeah, so I made like lots of good people. I made lots of friends. I still keep in contact with some of them. I'm friends with most of them still. So that was like my experiences. All around, it was a really good experience. I learned a lot. It was a good year. It was definitely a good year. If you like cooking stuff like that, just go for it. Like, especially if you do like a 1 year, normally it's like a 3-day course. And if it's 3 days, that's classified as full-time. So you get Centrelink anyway. So I was in Centrelink. I was like, yeah, thank fuck. I don't have to like try and work every like other day that I'm not there. So that was like my sort of experiences. It was a really good time. Met lots of new people. Got lots of experience, learned some better ways of doing things, learned some ways I shouldn't do things, and I should just keep on doing the way I'm doing them, because it was better the way I was doing them. But yeah, so, hopefully you found some way to enjoy this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye!